Is busy part of Albuquerque is back to normal this morning after a hazmat situation late last night.
Yeah, it happened close to the UNM campus. Albuquerque police officers were executing a search warrant near Buena Vista and Cole. Now, that warrant included possible hazardous materials. Now, cops aren't saying much, like if anything was discovered or if anyone's been taken into custody. All they're saying at this time is this is part of an ongoing investigation with the Federal Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Department. Now, we'll let you know when we learn more about the situation.
The search is on this morning to find 3 new leaders for Albuquerque's Police Oversight Commission. Commissioners Jonathan Siegel, Richard Shine, and Jennifer Barella each sent in their resignation letters saying in a nutshell the POC is a sham. They say the commission can only rubber stamp decisions the police chief and independent review officer already make. That echoes a finding in the Department of Justice report that was highly critical of APD. So you know, commissioners are appointed by city council members.
But I do agree with these members that they right now, under the current structure, really have no say-so.
Councilor Sanchez points out that the city council is working on a plan to give the POC some kind of real power. The mayor is not saying anything about this. His chief administrative officer, Rob Perry, says he hopes the council will succeed with what he calls needed changes. In the meantime, Mr. Sanchez says it's important to replace the commissioners who resign so APD has at least some kind of civilian oversight. And the Department of Justice is now condemning the flyers that are threatening violence against Albuquerque police officers.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this. The flyers actually say, "Save a life, kill a cop." They were found inside copies of the Albuquerque Journal and on light poles near UNM over the weekend. The Journal says it's investigating how they got there. Last week's DOJ report said most of APD's deadly police shootings since 2009 were not justified. But the U.S. Attorney's Office is encouraging the community to work with the police force and the city to reform that department. Albuquerque has taken a beating in the national media because of the APD stories, which many fear presents an obstacle in the city's attempt to attract new business and, of course, tourists. From CBS News to CNN to national newspaper websites, headlines across the country read like this one from the Washington Post saying, quote, Albuquerque's long history of police abuse, cover-up, and scandal.
If people take the DOJ report as the one thing that represents Albuquerque, maybe people make choices about going somewhere else to vacation or taking a job somewhere else.
Now, even before the DOJ's report released, the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce was worried about the impact of the video showing the shooting of James Boyd, saying people sent in emails of concern. All of this comes at a really bad time with New Mexico. It's trying to jumpstart a sluggish economy. An American Legislative Exchange Council study this week shows New Mexico ranks 37th in terms of economic outlook. A lot of people have been calling for this. Tomorrow night, there is a community forum to hold the Albuquerque Police Department accountable and end police brutality. It's scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Albuquerque Mennonite Church at 1300 Girard. Now, that's between Constitution and Indian School. Organizers say they're planning the next steps in their tactical plan to present to the City Council on Monday. Tactics include recalling the mayor, grand jury petitions, nonviolent civil disobediences, plus putting pressure on the Attorney General and the DA to bring on indictments. Students at UNM have voiced their concern about safety on campus. Now more changes are coming.
Yeah, things are certainly getting brighter there thanks to more lighting on campus. We sent News 13 Samantha McDonald out to UNM to find out how much of a difference all of these lights will make. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Matt. Well, many students say it's just a little too dark here on campus at night, so they've wanted to see more LED lights around here. Now, that's what they're getting, plus more. The legislature has given them $160,000 to make these improvements complete. Student leaders say the top priority areas right now are the southwest side of the duck pond, near the Yale parking garage on the west side, and between Ortega Hall and the art building. Those places were chosen by UNM staff and students this fall during an annual walk across campus to spot areas that could be safety risks at night. LED lights have already been set up in some areas last spring and also this winter. Now the final phase of installations will begin. The exact number of lights will be determined, and students and student leaders say they hope this will help them feel safer.
I avoid
avoid the duck pond. I know that that's a place that's not very well lit. So.
A lot of students say they walk their dogs, they have classes, they don't want to walk back to the residence hall, and they don't want to be unsafe or feel unsafe.
Along with the lighting, the money from this project will also go towards redoing the asphalt on the basketball court off Lomas and Girard and expand it to make 2 half-sized courts. There's also a plan to get more than 20 extra recycling bins around campus. All of these projects are expected to start in June and should be done by August. Back to you.
All right, thank you for the update this morning, Sam. The university hopes the new lighting will put many people's fears at ease. This is especially true if you remember last year. Police say the 2 men in these sketches grabbed and groped a student who was running near Johnson Field. A few days later, a man groped another woman near Castetter Hall, not far from Yale and Central. Now, police never said if they arrested anyone in those cases. Well, dozens of runners from here in New Mexico will be on their way to New England soon for the first Boston Marathon since the deadly bombing last year. 80 runners from here were there last year when the bombs went off, and most of them are not going back. But those who are and others who have never ran Boston before are now dealing with an emotional roller coaster.
Probably have a moment's silence, and then you'll start to remember, ooh, it was this time last year that somebody was trying to kill us.
A total of 86 men and women from New Mexico will run Boston this year. Just 36 were there last year. Many who were there say it's simply too emotional to go back right now.
I can believe that.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's one woman who said she's kind of worried about what's going to happen that moment where she crosses the part where the bombs went off and she was stopped.
Right.
So she's one of the 36 who are going
A lot
back.
of people still shaken up. You know, an 8-year-old was one of the victims that has to be tough on the family to go back to that area.
No, without a doubt.